Warning, there are profanity, topics, and other opinions that could offend you. Please watch and or listen at your own risk, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, what's up? It's RDiK, old school duelist, whoever you want to call me, and welcome back to another episode of the Voidcast. I know I've been a little bit behind, so don't worry. I'll explain why in just a second. But if you're listening to this episode of the podcast, then we got some interesting things to talk about. Just kind of playing catch up because I recorded a couple things, or recorded 2 episodes, and I just never got around to recording them or posting them. So I'm just like, this is a catch up. I'm gonna briefly talk about a lot of things in this episode. We got some Smash stuff we're gonna talk about, some Pokemon stuff, some Pokemon Let's Go stuff we're gonna talk about, some Monster Hunter stuff, as well as VR stuff that I'm gonna be talking about, because I can give my opinion about VR now. But yeah, we'll be talking about that. But first, as always, we always have a little powwow. But yeah, there's a couple things I just want to talk about before I get to the actual point of the episode. Firstly, I just want to talk about that there's going to be some changes coming to the podcast, to the channel itself, just between everything. Just a lot of changes coming soon. A lot of changes updating, because if you guys, a couple episodes ago, I had said that basically I've been really busy, and I've been putting my effort and my time into making this as good as it can be and as good as I would like it to be. There's just tons of things that, just recording episodes. I record the episodes, and then I kind of half-ass the edit. Yes, I go through and make sure there's no fuck-ups or anything like that. I've had a couple times where I've uploaded an episode and just due to exports, shit gets fucked up, and just little things like that I've been neglecting, and I've been not putting my 100% effort into. And I want to put that 100% effort into. I want to put 110% into the podcast, because I've noticed, because I haven't really checked my analytics and my listens and my plays on Audioboom in a good minute. And I have been on Audioboom, I think I've been on Audioboom for roughly anywhere from 4 to 6 months. I can't remember exactly how long I've been on Audioboom, but I haven't been on Audioboom. I've been on Audioboom for under a year, and I'm already almost at 300 listens altogether with all. I think it's 17 episodes. I think, yeah, a total of 17 episodes on Audioboom, and I'm at 279 listens. That to me is amazing. It makes me really happy to see that, and it's not some episodes they're under 10 listens, but some of them I've noticed they're getting listens, and it makes me really, really happy. So with that being said, I want to put the most I can put into this, the most anything I can put into this. One episode has 55 listens, and just that blows my mind. That just, oh my god, makes me happy. It makes me, what? Hold on. It makes me just really happy. Sorry, so I'm just really tweaked out. Anyways, yeah, that makes me super happy, and it makes me just ecstatic that people are listening to the podcast. And I don't know if it's just only friends, I don't know if it's randos, I don't know what it is, but whoever is listening to this, thank you so much. It means a lot. So I want to put 100%, 110% into the podcast as possible. What made me come to this conclusion is the fact that the other day, while I was at work, my girlfriend had, she texted me, and she's I was talking to her about the podcast, and she just asked me, she's like, why do you do the podcast? And to be honest, literally no one has asked me why I do it. she was the first person to ever ask me, why do you do the podcast? And, I've never, in the past, the reason why I started the podcast, and I've talked about this, in old episodes, probably when the podcast was only on YouTube. But at first it was just a therapy thing for me to help me. It helped me because I tried doing YouTube. Well, tried to do YouTube. I guess technically I'm still trying to do YouTube. I try to do Let's Plays and stuff like that, and just different Yu-Gi-Oh videos on YouTube. And I had noticed that progressively it has gotten better, but over I would always speed through everything. I wouldn't take a second to think about, or I wouldn't think about at all really what I was trying to say. Sometimes that still happens here, and my thought process is a little out there, but for most of the time, or a majority of the time, I was just getting over some things, some personal stuff, and the podcast was there. I was able to vent on the podcast. I was able to just talk about whatever. That's what I set forward in this podcast, is just to make the podcast be whatever the hell I want to talk about. It still is whatever the hell I want to talk about. And I'm pretty sure eventually, if I get a fan base, a big following fan base, they'll probably say, they'll probably tell me they want to hear me talk about things. They want to hear they want to hear my opinion on things that they care about, which I will definitely talk about. If people are coming to me and they say, hey, talk about this, if they're tweeting at me or, messaging me on Facebook or whatever, telling me, hey, I want to hear your opinion about this. This means something to me. I'm going to be okay, let me do some research and I'll talk about it. Or I'll mention, say, hey, here's my quick, brief thought on it if I know stuff about it. Or I'll put some time into it and come up with an actual conclusion depending on the topic. So with that, something like that would really mean a lot to me if someone really honestly asked me for my opinion on stuff. That would make me happy. But anyways, back to the point. That's what the podcast was. It was my little thing to vent about. I had no views on YouTube. I didn't have Audio Boom. Nothing like that. It was legit just me and a microphone just talking about whatever the fuck was on my mind. Sometimes I had actual topics and I tried to stick to it, and almost every time I got off topic. And that's what it was. It was therapeutic for me because I was dealing with a lot of stuff at that time. A lot of stuff was in my head. A lot of stuff was going through it. I just wanted to talk about something, not necessarily that stuff on my mind all the time, but talk about something to help me ease my mind off of it and not think about the shit going on in my head. So that's legit. That's what the podcast was originally. It was something to be therapeutic, to help me, get better at speaking, get better at, not being stressed about whatever the hell's on my mind by trying to think about something else. It allowed me to put my free time into something that I cared about and I was extremely passionate about. And I'm still extremely passionate about it, and I still care about it. I just haven't put that passion and that care into it 100% of the time. That's mostly due to just a lot of different things. Work got crazy. The summertime happened. Work got crazy. I was working a couple hours. I'd started a relationship, and me and her were going a lot of places. We were just visiting a lot of places, and I didn't take the time out to work on the podcast, which is something that I wanted to do. I don't necessarily want to make money. If I could make this my job and make it a living, then I would, and I would do. Did my dog just open the door? I think my dog just opened the door. Sorry, my dog opened the door. Yeah, no, that's what it was. But now, after she asked me that, I literally sat there and thought about it for a second, and I was like, why do I do the podcast still? It's nothing that I make money off of. I'm getting some listens and some views, and that makes me happy. Like I said, it makes me really happy. But why do I do the podcast? Well, let me tell you why I do the podcast. I do the podcast because it's I love debates. I love just everything. I love everything about talking about a topic, researching something, voicing my opinion, and just being in entertainment, being someone's, their therapeutic, hey, this person it comforts me and stuff like that. I haven't got anything like that yet, but I eventually, if this goes somewhere, then I might be that to someone, and that would make me happy. That would make me happy that people listen to me and they genuinely tune in every week or something like that, or whatever my schedule would be, just to listen to me, or support me, or share this with somebody and say, hey, you might like this, which is honestly the biggest support anyone can do. If I ever do make money off of this, or start a Patreon or anything like that, I don't have any plans right now. I have no plans. There's no intention to make any money off of this. This is literally all through passion and caring and wanting to be that voice, that one person you look to for their opinion to get get some thoughts on whatever topic the fuck you want to know about. That's all I have plans right now, is to just promote this, get this out there, be a free thing, a free something out there for people to listen to. And because that's literally what it boils down to, is I want this to be a free thing. I'm not going to be like, oh, you only get 10 minutes of this episode, want the whole thing, subscribe to blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not. The Voidcast will always be free. Will always be out there for anyone who wants to listen to it and who wants to share it with whoever the hell they want. Would it be great for this to be my job and what I do for a living, to podcast and do everything else? Yes, it would be amazing. It would be fantastic. I would be my own boss. I would, stumbling over my own words. I would get to do what I love to do, and that is being an entertainer, be that source that people want to get some information about something. Let it be something as little as, is this a good controller, or is this this topic a good topic, or is this a bad topic, or whatever the hell I want to talk about. Granted, mostly I talk about video games on here, just because I'm a huge gamer. That's literally what I do in my free time. When I'm not trying to work on this, or when I'm not working, or when I'm not with my girlfriend. Sometimes when I'm with my girlfriend, I play video games. I play video games with friends. I research video games. I look into what's coming out next, what the next game I'm going to buy and play, and put tens of hundreds of hours into, possibly. I'm a gamer. I'm at heart a giant nerd gamer. So let it be I'm sharing my opinion about video games. Let it be me sharing my opinion about politics, which is something I very rarely talk about, just because internet and politics is... God damn it. Internet and politics is always a horrible mix. So I gotta make this quick. I gotta hurry up because my girlfriend's on the way to come get me, because we're doing a couples cooking night with her best friend and her best friend's girlfriend. So I'm rambling. I've been talking for almost 15 minutes now while doing the podcast. Just know I'm very passionate. The Voidcast will always be free for you to listen to. It will always, as long as you share the podcast and at least listen to the podcast, it shows that people are interested, and I will continue to do it. Now, obviously, if people start to financially support me and start making this my job, or just an income of money, then obviously I will give those people a little bit more, because they are supporting me even more than just listening to the podcast. They're giving me their money. Obviously I would give them a little bit more, but to everyone, the podcast will be free. My streams will be free. But moving on, a couple of changes that I'm going to talk about now. I'm starting to stream. I want to try and do that 2 to 3 times a week. That'd be late night chill streams on Facebook, which will probably be a lot of my streams. I want to stream the podcast live on Twitch before I record, then just take it and post it up to Audio Boom a day later, or later that day or something like that. Just different things like that. I'm going to be streaming on Facebook. I'm updating the Facebook page because I haven't really been active on it at all, which surprisingly I have 36 likes on there. Last time I was on there, which was like a year ago, I had 12 likes on there. So the fact that I have a year later 36 likes on there shows me that somebody's going to that and liking it, which is surprisingly. So I want to do that. I want to stream there just to tap into that market for those people. Well, I wouldn't want to say market. Tap into that audience, because there's always the people that are scrolling through Facebook looking for something to do. So if I stream there, give them some chill, like, I don't know, maybe like Pokemon or like Zelda, which that's what I'm streaming. That's what I'm currently working on right now, is Zelda Wind Waker. So if you're going to catch that, catch me at night. I don't have set dates yet, but I'm working on an official schedule that will be posted everywhere. My Twitter, I updated my Twitter, so my Twitter's like all up, for the most part, up to this point right now. It's up to date with information I can for sure guarantee. I'm going to be updating the podcast because I want to put a set structure to the podcast. I kind of have a structure, but I want a written structure to follow now. Something else. No, that's actually it. That is it for updates that I can give you right now. Just like I said, I've been streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/OSDuelist12. Go to the Facebook, facebook.com/OSDuelist12. You can follow me on Twitter at OSDuelist12 for constant update and constant information, because every time I want to, I have new information, I will tweet it out there, and I will be more active on the Facebook page as well, mostly because I'll be streaming there as well. But most of the Facebook streams will be late night. Most of the the Twitch streams will be during like midday, afternoonish. But yeah, so that's really about it on that. Moving on, I like to always give Audio Boom a huge shout out, because they're not a sponsor, but definitely something I definitely 100% love, because they give me all the tools that I can to upload this podcast, at least audibly, to tons of different places. Audio Boom, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, just so many access. So if you don't follow me there on Audio Boom, you can follow me at the other places as well, and everything else. So let's jump into the topics. First, we're going to talk about VR. These are going to be kind of like rapid fire, because this is kind of like my quick opinion on a bunch of things, just to catch up, because this episode goes up on Monday, August 26th or something like that. No, 27th, August 27th. That's going up there. That's when this episode will be up, to just rapid fire stuff like that, because I have to get ready to go soon. Moving on. VR. I bought a Gear VR. VR is amazing. It definitely, if you want to get into VR, definitely buy a Gear VR if you have a Samsung phone. If not, you can buy the Google Daydream. Honestly, it's about the same thing. It uses your phone for the VR if you have VR capability with your phone. You can also buy the Oculus Go, which is doesn't have as good as a processor as using your phone as getting a Gear VR or Google Daydream. But it still is good enough to get a decent entry of VR. Definitely one day I want to buy an amazing rig to do the Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, which I probably would buy the HTC Vive if I had the money to. Then I'd definitely buy the HTC Vive, because it's just I feel like the HTC Vive is definitely the better and more wholesome, or not wholesome, just a better experience for VR is the HTC Vive, in my personal opinion. Other people might have other opinions and other facts here and there, but in my personal opinion, for the VR enthusiast and the VR people that just enjoy VR, I feel like HTC Vive is the better one. Everyone has their own opinion. Let me know. You can tweet at me. You can post in the comments and everything else like that. The next thing I want to talk about is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. There's a couple things I want to talk about. One, they're bringing Mega Evolutions back to Pokemon. It's mostly the Gen 1 Pokemon. Not mostly. It is only the Gen 1 Pokemon that are going to have their Megas. There's also a copyright or a trademark bought for Nintendo for the for other names that are just Pokemon stuff like that. Most all but one is Gen 1. So my only speculation is that they're going to get Megas as well, because it did the same thing for X and Y. They did the same thing for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So who knows? They might because Golem was one of them, so who knows, Golem might get a Mega, or a Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan, because those were 3 of them. Hitmotop was another one that was on that list, but that's the Gen 2 Pokemon, so maybe Gen 2 might be in the game, just maybe it might be post stuff. Who knows? And the other thing I want to talk about, the reason why no one knows is because Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu pre-orders are getting canceled for Smash, which there is like a lot of facts that like go into this, why this is happening, and that's because Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu come out November 16th. But also, December 7th comes Smash Bros., the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game for the Switch as well. Those are 2 games that are literally within 4 weeks of each other. So some people might opt out of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee just because all it is a Gen 1 remake with Pokemon Go mechanics in it. So why, like, in my personal opinion, I'm probably still going to end up buying both because it's probably going to be a quick game. Probably I'll get like a week out of it. Like, it'll probably take me like a week to beat the story just because I'll probably procrastinate really hard on it. And just want to experience and, everything like that, and just experience the game and have a good time with it. So it'll probably take me a week to beat it. But for $60 for a remake, that kind of seems a little expensive. Plus also that Pokeball controller where you get Mew, which kind of could be just kind of like a pay to win basically, because you pay like $50 for the controller, or you could just buy the whole thing, or the $100 version, get the controller and a game, and just beat the entire game with Mew, because Mew is a legendary Pokemon. So that's kind of like, kind of counterproductive just to make a quick buck. But this could also just show like what the 2019 Pokemon Go or Pokemon main title games could offer, graphics wise, or just like different things that they are probably going to do in the 2019 Pokemon main title game. Who knows? Not a lot of people are going to probably buy Let's Go and just get Smash, or they'll probably wait for Let's Go to drop down in price to like $30 or $40. Hell, I might even do the same thing, but more than likely I'll probably buy both on launch. They're in my calendar, so Smash is definitely a definite buy. Speaking of Smash, Smash got some new characters. We got Simon Belmont, we got some other Echo characters added, and we got King K. Rool. That's pretty exciting. That's awesome. I'm happy that we're still getting information and we're still getting new characters and everything like that. That's really fucking cool. But the reason why I want to bring this up is because when they showed off the characters in the Nintendo Direct, they showed a giant, the giant layout of every character in the game. And they're just like boom, 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 like it just popped in those characters in the mix. My theory is that there's still gaps where characters possibly could pop in, so maybe they still have work in some characters. Like, my thought is because they're including the Rathian or the Rathalos as an assist trophy from Monster Hunter, Rathalos from Monster Hunter. They're putting the Rathalos as an assist trophy. Goddamn, as an assist trophy, and as a boss in the game, like just for the different maps, and a Monster Hunter map. So my thought process is they might do a generic Monster Hunter character, kind of like what they did with Marvel vs. Capcom, how they had the Monster Hunter as a DLC character for Marvel vs. Capcom. But they might just have this as a character, and that would be kind of cool. I mean, there's tons of moves. You can probably give them the Great Sword, or dual blades or something. You could probably either make them a fast character or a slow character, or you could use the Sword and Shield or the Charge Blade, the fan favorite weapon, since it's been implemented. Because the Charge Blade is a slow weapon, or not a medium slow weapon. It offers a shield, so that gives you an excuse to make a shield. Plus, also, you can turn it into changes into the axe for your ultimate smash, and you just get the full charge. Boom! Look at that. There's your character right there. Nintendo, you can have that one. So that's my thought on it. They're probably going to implement Monster Hunter character in there in some ways, not only just the Rathalos. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate. Monster Hunter Generation Ultimate is the double-cross Western version, basically an expansion version of Monster Hunter Generations, that is coming to Nintendo Switch August 27th, or 28th, my bad. And I'm a huge, huge fan of Monster Hunter, as you guys know. And I'm really, really excited for this because I loved the Generation game. It was just such an amazing title. It's such an amazing lineup of monsters. This is supposed to have, again, another amazing lineup of monsters. Plus, I'll be able to take a Monster Hunter wherever I go, which is just amazing, phenomenal. I'm really excited for that. And it comes out August 28th, like I said. And when this episode comes out, it is going to be Monday, August 27th. Game comes out the 28th. This episode goes up the 27th, so the day before it comes out. So I wanted to give my quick opinion on the difference between Monster Hunter Generations and Monster Hunter World. So the huge difference, the big elephant in the room, is the graphics. The graphics in World is vastly better just because it's on better machines, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So those machines are definitely just better all around than a Switch, so they can just load the entire map and boom, you just have a beautiful looking game. But there's also the things I don't like about World, and I've said this opinion tons of times. God damn it, dog. But I've said this opinion tons of times, and that's Monster Hunter World does not have the mass amount of monsters that I've come to enjoy and come to just want, and that is just huge. It makes a huge difference in gameplay and time put into it. Yes, you have all your monsters. They have a decent lineup of monsters, roughly about 20-ish monsters, plus they're adding one new monster every month. And you think 20 monsters would be enough, but not compared to the other Monster Hunter games. All the Monster Hunter games for Monster Hunter 3, 4, and Generations, they've all had a massive amount of monsters. I can maybe 30 to 40 monsters, and that's almost double than what World has, which is a huge drawback for me. And time-wise and put into it, they have with World, they have like I said, they have roughly the 15 to 20 monsters that are in there now. Plus, they also have the tempered versions, which is just a tempered version of all the Elder Dragons and every monster else that is in the game. Yeah, that's cool, but at the same time I don't really care for the tempered monsters. I would honestly fight a bunch of different monsters from beginning all the way up to G rank, which is that's pretty, you got to be pretty high up there to get G rank, your HR. So I'd rather fight a bunch of monsters between the beginning of the game to up to G rank, which is cool. And then once you get to G rank, you face a whole another new set of monsters. And then you face, basically it boils down to you face your easy monsters from Hunter rank 1 to 4. Once you hit Hunter rank 4, you face your medium monsters. Once you've beaten your Hunter rank 4 monsters and unlocked low rank G quests, then you gain another set of monsters. And once you enter the high tier monsters, that's when you get your serious hardcore Elder Dragon monsters, which that's what a Monster Hunter player looks for in the game. They want those hard, let me dodge almost every single fucking attack and still die type of thing. At least that's what I look for in the Monster Hunter games. I want to get angry at the game. On a personal level, I want to get angry at the game. So I feel that personally, to me, Generations is ultimately the better generation, or the better Monster Hunter game. It's the most Monster Hunter-like game. If you want to use a Legend of Zelda term, that's what everyone says. Ocarina of Time is the most Legend of Zelda, or the most Zelda-like game. Well, anyways, Monster Hunter Generations and Generation Ultimate is going to be the most Monster Hunter-like game. And that makes a huge difference in longevity playtime. Yeah, you can put hundreds of hours into World, but you can put even more hours into the game if you include tons more monsters from the start, plus DLC to add maybe another 10 to 15 more. Because Generations has, I said, roughly 30 to 40 monsters in it, and that's amazing. That's massive. Plus the angry versions of them. That's massive. Monster Hunter World, it's a beautiful game, has, like, the controls are pretty clean, but I'm sorry, Generations to me is the better video game. Obviously, there's going to be people that just enjoy World a lot better just because whether it be their first Monster Hunter game or just they enjoy the game better and would prefer better graphics. Like, everyone's entitled to that, their own opinion why they like a game. But to me, as a longtime Monster Hunter fan, from playing since like PS2, PSP era, Monster Hunter Generation and Generation Ultimate is obviously is the better game. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in like the comments and the you can tweet at me what you think and let me know what you're talking. Let me know what your views on Monster Hunter or anything else. If you guys like what you're listening to, you can follow me on Twitter at OSDuelist12. You can follow me on Facebook as well. That's facebook.com/OSD or OSDuelist12. I'm also the podcast post to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube, and audioboom.com. Thank you guys for listening, and have a wonderful, beautiful night, day, thing, or whatever.
We'll be right back.